Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be going over a quite an old model for Wan. It's called Wan ATI. And this model came out about maybe 6 months ago, something like that. And it's relatively old, but it does something really, really unique. So what this model does is allow us to create trajectories. And we can get some pretty crazy, surreal art styles in this way. And so, yeah, here I am sitting in a classroom. All the stuff is moving. The buildings all changing. Here's another example. Here's an example of me locked in place where everything else is moving. The buildings are evolving. Very like Inception vibes. But yes, we're going to go over basically working and building this kind of a workflow inside of ComfyUI. Now, big shout out to Masaki Mizuno. He was the main inspiration. As you can see here, he made a whole music video, and he really is like the first person I think to like truly push the this specific model's capabilities. Um, but it is very like kind of gate kept from the community in a sense because handling these trajectories in the past have been very cumbersome. And what I mean by that is if I just go over here and grab this and I whip out a note and paste it, these are essentially the JSON trajectory coordinates that drive this video model. And we're going to be going into a few tools that I built that makes this process a ton easier and make it feel more like a tool, which is awesome. So we're going to jump like right over to the workflow, and it's super simple. It's a really stripped down workflow. We are using Wan 2.1 image to video ATI 14 billion. All the downloads for the models, LoRa's, text encoders, VAs, everything is going to be in the description, as well as the entire workflow as a whole. So this is kind of just more of a rundown of the workflow in itself. We are using Torch Compile and Sage Retention. If you don't know what that is, or you know for a fact that your environment does not use that, just go ahead and either delete them or Control B to bypass the nodes completely. Other than that, it's a pretty standard workflow. We've got our text encoders, we got our VA, our positive prompt, negative. I definitely recommend not playing with this. This just works. Resolution bucket, right? And so here, this node keeps the aspect ratio of your image loaded in, whatever it is, and this just is like a bucket. And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it basically means 1280 is my bucket size, and no matter the resolution aspect ratio of the picture I put in, the longest side is only allowed to be 1280, but we're not distorting. And then here we just have our frame count. We're duplicating that picture 81 times. And we send it into our path animator node. This is really the sauce of what I'm going to be talking about. And all fed into the conditioning and boom, right into the K-sampler. So super straightforward, but the effects you can get out of this thing are really fun and really captivating. And so real quick, let's go over to the models just so everyone knows. They're all going to be on Hugging Face. Again, link in the description, all that good stuff. Inside of the Hugging Face link, you'll find a few things. You'll find the LoRa, the distillation LoRa. You'll find the base model, the VA, and the text encoder. Basically everything you need for this workflow right here, as well as the workflow JSON itself for ComfyUI. And so yeah, let's start to play with this. I'm actually just gonna run this like really low, just at 720, and I'm going to see if I can find a picture. Actually, let's just play with the picture of me because that's fun. Cool. So now this is the sauce of the show, the FL Path Animator. This is my node pack called Fill Nodes. If you're on the channel, you already know. If you don't know where those are, custom nodes in the manager, you can simply search for fill, and fill nodes comes up right here. I'm constantly updating, so definitely keep updating your pack. And so we have a bunch of stuff here. We have circle, shape, shape color, background color, radius, etc., rotation, border color. But that's not really what I want to get into right away. What I really want to get into is, I'm just going to copy this image really quick onto the clipboard, is this edit path button. So if we click this edit path button, we get a whole secondary UI that pops up. And up here it says Control V to paste the image. So I just copied the image to my clipboard, and now I'm just going to Control V, and boom, I have it right inside of this new UI. So first, we'll start from the top. We have path width, right? We can see the trajectory of like the direction where the point is going to go. And also we can see all the points, and that just controls the thickness. And we have opacity on the other side, just kind of to like change the background image a little bit so it's not so, it can be sometimes hard to see the points that you're doing. Up at the top, we have load image. If you don't want to copy paste and you just want to go straight into a file browser, you can do that. This just straight up clears the image from your canvas. Again, I'm just going to paste it back. And then we have static pin that allows us to pin. The idea here is anything that's a static pin will not move in the video. Erase path, you can just click on the paths with the no thanks indicator and delete any of them, or you can delete them on the left here very easily. If you want to delete all of them, it's right at the bottom here, clear all paths, yes, fresh blank canvas. And the last two buttons is a selector, and this one is very useful. It's called lock perimeter. So if I click this, it'll ask me how many do I want. 12 is fine. I hit go, and you can see all along the perimeter we have static markers. Now this is really important because if we want items in the scene to move, but we don't want the camera to move, 100% use the lock perimeter. That's just kind of how that works. And then so from there, I have my pencil and I can, take my hand and go up like this, and maybe my left foot and go like that, and then right foot like this, and maybe this building's there, this building up, this building down, and my head is going to go slightly up. And cool, so I'm just going to hit save. You can also hit escape, does the same thing. You can always go back and look at it. So here's all our paths. Change the opacity down so we can see, change the thickness. You can see the trajectories where things are moving. And cool, so I'm just going to hit escape again. And let's let it rip. Let's let it do the thing. So prompt, man standing in Shibuya scramble, crosswalk, black and white photography. The prompt does do something. I can confirm. I'm just going to run this in the meantime. The prompt does do something. I can confirm. But the trajectories are really the star of the show here. So anything that's like you do, the trajectories are going to be the driving factor. And the prompt is kind of just like the little extra nudge kind of thing. But yeah, back to the workflow here. It's hit our K sampler, everything is loaded, and we're gonna let it cook. So you can see immediately, here's a visualization coming out of the image node, and then I'm just compiling it. And you can see like these two are supposed to be my feet, and they're spreading apart. I think this one's my head, this one's like my hand, building. But then we can actually see it come to fruition in the video. And so like, the second you play with this, guys, you're just going to be like, holy moly, this just opens up the world of possibilities. This isn't like your traditional image to video workflow where you are like getting super surreal with it and prompting and this and that. This is for that like super fine grained control of like I want this over here and I want this to come down and like you're really like composing in that sense. However, it does make you like work a little differently, and I think that's like really fun as opposed to this like slot machine kind of mentality that we've been finding ourselves in the AI space. It's refreshing to say the very least. So this I'm running an A6000 Pro locally right now. I'm using I was probably using 20 gigs of VRAM. I mean, you guys can do block swapping, etc. Um, but yeah, 720, it took me 100, it took me 2 minutes, 2 minutes to render that image, that video, and here's the result. So here's the trajectories of me, spreading my thing. My head is tilting. So if you look at the background, actually, it seemed to. Let me just put this beside us here so we can see. It seemed to infer, and let me sync this. It seemed to infer this as like a shrink, and this is like a pushing it towards the shrink, these two red dots, this one and this one. And so this is kind of like the new flow that you're gonna get into is like what controls what, basically, and playing with that. But that's pretty much it for this flow, guys. It's really, really simple, and you guys can expand on it to your heart's content. The real winner here is the FL Path Animator. I've been coding it for the last couple days. And again, big shout out to Mazaki. He he did it in After Effects to control the trajectories. And hey, I'm like I use After Effects, but I don't want to use After Effects. And so this is my solution: is having a completely native UI inside of Comfy for us to literally just do whatever we want and effortlessly save trajectories all over the place, hit go, and we're ready to go. But yeah, I'm super stoked to see what the community does with it. If you guys make anything cool, tag me on X, tag me on LinkedIn, tag me on Instagram. Machine Delusions everywhere. And yeah, appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.